Dick Cheney did an interview with Sean Hannity, and I think I'm ready to officially declare what I think the dumbest anti-Obama argument is.
Let's start with the president. He's given 3 speeches in 3 days about the military. He's got, let's see, we've outed a CIA operative in Afghanistan. We have a VA scandal that is breathtaking in terms of how inappropriate it is for our vets. And we also have America, is it in decline in terms of its perception around the world?
I think the perception around the world is increasingly negative, Sean, but I think the main focus is on our president. He's a very, very weak president, maybe the weakest, certainly in my lifetime. And I know from my own experience on a recent trip through the Middle East, spending several days talking with folks I've dealt with all the way back to Desert Storm, they all are absolutely convinced that the American capacity to lead and to influence events in that part of the world has been dramatically reduced by this president. We've got a problem of weakness. It's centered right in the White House.
Ask Muammar Gaddafi or Osama bin Laden or the 916 number 2 men in Al-Qaeda that we've killed if Obama is weak. Or you can just ask all the drone victims in Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia, Afghanistan. Or you can ask the people in Guantanamo Bay. Or you can ask the 9,800 troops that we're keeping in Afghanistan. Or you can ask the directors of the 900 U.S. military bases around the world if this guy is weak. The idea that Obama is weak, well, I got news for you, Dick. If he's weak, then you are calling yourself weak because he's doing all of the same policies that you did and putting them on steroids. So thank you for calling yourself weak. You know, only in Dick Cheney's twisted, silly little mind can he actually convince himself, and by the way, I do think he actually believes those things, that a guy continuing his policies is weak. You know, it's amazing we live in a world where I'm incredibly disappointed with Obama, but Dick Cheney is also incredibly disappointed with Obama. See, that doesn't make any sense. One of us has to be wrong. You know who's wrong? It's him. Because Obama is doing all of your policies and you're still acting like, oh, how dare you, he sucks, stupid Democrat, weak, No. The problem is Obama is too far right-wing, and according to your definitions, he's being too strong. You know, but the other point about this is the entire conversation is illegitimate anyway. Because calling somebody weak, and this is why I'm officially declaring this is the stupidest anti-Obama argument that there is. What does that even mean? It's such a vague term, it doesn't mean anything. You know, let's all agree to stop making the stupid points that, you know, I think America is in decline. Well, what do you mean? What exactly does that mean? What does that mean? Do you mean we're in decline in terms of the economy? Because that's not true. We've grown, 8.9 million jobs since Obama took office. But are we in decline when it comes to poverty? Well, yes, because poverty is increasing. Are we in decline when it comes to science and technology? No, we've actually steadily been increasing. So what the fuck are you talking about? You can't just use these broad terms. He's weak. Well, what topic are you talking about? Are you talking about foreign policy? You're talking about domestic policy? You're talking about social policy? I mean, there's so many different aspects to these conversations, and there's so many nuances and ways of looking at it, but they just want to use these vectors. America's in decline, Obama's weak. But this is how children think. This is how people who aren't capable of deep, rational argument think. And then I guess the final thing I want to throw out there about this is I totally want to scrap these words from political discussions. Because if I were president, I mean, I would be called the weakest president in American history. And the reason why I would be is because I would never use the military unless I absolutely have to. And people would say, oh, that's weak. You know, we have 900 military bases. I would shut at least half of them because we don't fucking need them. I would cut the military at least in half because when you look at the graphs, U.S. military spending versus the world, we spend more than the next 14 nations combined or something crazy like that, and most of them are our allies. So I would slash like no end when it comes to military spending. I would actually do this crazy thing called national defense. Not national offense. I would actually put troops on the border and make sure that we protect the homeland, and the only time I would ever ask young American men and women to die is if it's in a situation where I would say I should be picking up a rifle too, when we're about to be attacked or something like that. So if somebody acts like that, yeah, Dick Cheney and some people in the media would say, oh, so weak, he doesn't want to be in 14 different wars at once. But here's my question. Is that really weak, or is that just, I don't know, intelligent? I would argue it's intelligent.